So I've known about this race for a little while, so the two Marks are really the reason I'm here. So Mark Cockbain, so the original, if you like, and obviously Big Mark, or Little Mark, whichever way you want to describe it. I see he can't respond at the moment, so I can get all my insults out. But actually, both of those sort of inspired me to come along. And to be honest, I thought I knew what I was going to get, but actually didn't. So what I sort of discovered or found when I was here was actually a race that was genuinely Indian in nature. So I was slightly concerned that actually this was just going to be an ultra that had been transplanted into the subcontinent. So there's a lot of really fantastic stuff that is unique to this event that I've not, and I've run all over the world, that I've not seen before, and was really pleasing to see. And it was a real privilege yesterday to be at the finish line for the 333 guys. You are all brilliant, absolutely awe-inspiring. And although unfortunately I can't come back next year, but no, I'm not going to make that commitment. But we'll have to have a look at some point in the future around how it fits. Some of you may have picked up that I'm not the quickest, hence the tractor bit. But I do enjoy being out on the course. And as Rajat discovered, I enjoy playing with the cut-offs, maybe a little too closely on occasion, and or telling me to shut up and just got on with it. So we were having all sorts of discussions that maybe at North Pillow I shouldn't have been having. But just to give you a quick synopsis of my race. So my first problem in this race started about here. Some of you may know, I have sort of some problems with my hip flexors and into deep in here. Stage direction's brilliant. But I need things. So that was very, very sore. And by about 20 odd K I couldn't run anymore because that was causing me a lot of pain. VJ had a go. Where's VJ gone? So VJ stuck his big wooden stake into me a few times. It didn't really work, but it was a different kind of pain, so that was all right. And then my second problem was about here, because at that point, maybe it's that I'm just not used to running at altitude, any form of altitude. My legs were dead. Genuinely, they had gone. There was nothing left in my legs. So it's not unusual for that to happen, but it usually happens a lot later in a race. So 25, 30K, that's a bit of an issue. So that's where tractor style comes in, big style. So at that point, it's just about ignoring what's going on down below there. It's all up here. In terms of what you need to do. So I had some fun getting over Karangla. Rajat trying to keep me under control because I'm going for it. I don't like Karangla, actually, to be honest. I think it's a bit of a brute. It's a bit too male a hill for me. We'll come on to what I think of Warrior in a minute. So yeah, I might as well do it again, Helena, because I've done it a few times. Yeah, and it's already on film, so might as well carry on. But actually, sort of coming down the other side, seeing the crew at South Pulu, which was absolutely fantastic. You had the potatoes ready for me, which was great. Cup of tea, ready to go. But I already knew that I haven't got much time for messing about. So sort of a lot of our work with the crew, and they were brilliant, was all about just sort of like quick changeovers and keeping me going. So did the 1-1-1 bit. I have to say, the Indian bit around that was sort of like slightly confusing. I didn't like the bit, maybe familiar with this. Getting through Leh and down to the Indus, I found really, really hard. So there was a lot of sand in the air, there was a lot of traffic that seemed to take great delight in being very close to me. And actually we crossed the Indus, and I thought that would be a fantastic moment. When I thought about it, I thought that would be really, really brilliant. And I was a little bit grumpy.
Not really.
No, come on. But actually, we had a bit of a chat with the crew, and they were brilliant. Absolutely fantastic, and they got me going again. And it's unfortunate Stanson's not here because Stanson was the one that said, change your socks. I didn't need to change my socks, but he said, change your socks. Now, in previous lives, on stage races, you change your socks because actually you absolutely need to. And I've described it as being better than sex when you change your socks. It was almost as good as that. That bit down here is hard work. I think everyone finds that hard, but it's perfect tractor territory. So I think we've got the motor on for quite a while. But just before 30, we thought we were a lot closer to 30 than we actually were, didn't we? We decided to have a stop, and I had about half an hour's sleep in the front seat of the car. Not ideal, but it seemed to work for me. And then we got the news through that we weren't as close as we thought we were to 30, which was a bit of a problem, because I thought I was going to lose all the time that we'd gained. And I got ahead on, and anyone who saw me in the 30 guest house, etc., will know that I sort of like charged in, had to visit the toilet, charged back out, and was back on the hill about an hour or so behind Jason in terms of how it worked through. But I love Warrilar. If Warrilar was next door to me at home, I would go at Warrilar every day. I love that pass. So if Cardinal is a brute, if someone wants to punch you all the time, Warrilar is a beautiful woman, full of nice curves. And I really enjoyed myself going up there. RJ's not here, is he? So we broke RJ, and I like to claim we broke RJ. He couldn't keep up with the tractor when he wanted a little walk with me, so he had to get back in the car. But I was on top of the world. I could have stayed there all day, but obviously there's a race to finish. Coming back down was okay, but it was the last. I was trying to explain to Ripu, who wants to get into ultras, that the last 10% is always hard. It doesn't matter how good you feel, the last 10% is always horrible. And they saw some of that because I was a little bit grumpy again. But as we were coming down, Ripu told me, he said, "Oh, you're catching Jason." And I said, "No, not a chance. Right? I've seen him, you've all seen him. He's running about the place. There's no way that the tractor is catching someone who's as athletic as Jason." So I said, "You were taking the Michael, taking the piss, or whatever language you want to use." So I ignored it. We just carried on what we're doing. The truth is, Jason, my legs had nothing else to give, so there was no way I was going to catch you. So Carly, it was never in doubt. You didn't need to worry at that point. But I have to say, it was a real privilege to get to the finish line and have my mate, Mark, be the one to congratulate me across the line. That was absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to stop, actually. But I could find a whole load of anecdotes if you want. We really still got.